welcome to Dan Does. Another terrain episode to go with my last video if you didn't see that. And today I am at Rochester Castle. Now you might think, Dan, why did you go to such expense for a video? Well, I live just down the road, so it's not a big deal. I live amongst the terrain. I'm building something to go along with my horror warband and the last video today. I would have shown a quick shot of what it was just then, and you would have seen the thumbnail. Why do we pretend that you don't already know what it is? Thank you for watching. Enjoy the video. Hey, let's get this video started with a special effect. I've seen this done on many channels. I need this bottle to be smaller. I just need the bottom of it. So I'm going to give it a good old magic slap. Huh. Huh. They make it look so easy, don't they? Anyway, I've got the bottom of this bottle. And I'm going to give it a sand with this sanding sponge. And the reasoning for this little plastic bottle will become apparent at the end of the video. To keep you watching. So once I've given this thing a good old sand, I'm going to need some XPS foam. And I'm going to cut it into what I would call a pond shape. I'm not making a pond. I'm going to use my daughter's red felt tip there to mark it out, and once that's the desired shape, I'm going to cut it out and then bevel the edges with the handyman's murder weapon. I've also cut this square hole, but that is not your concern as of this moment. It will all become apparent at the end. Foreshadowing. It's foreshadowing when something bad's going to happen. I just like saying foreshadowing. I've added another layer there on top of the sheet of XPS foam. Now I'm going to use this sheet of EVA foam. Now this is EVA foam. You buy it in pound shop or craft shops and all that sort of stuff. Not to be confused with XPS foam, which is this tiny little square here. That tiny square is worth £20. I don't really know what this patronising segment was about when I filmed it, but it's in the video now. Breaking out the hot glue gun here to stick the bottle segment to the top of this heap. It's looking a real mess, I know, but I'm going to try and hide some of that mess now with tiny little XPS foam bricks. Now if you've seen my last video and pretty much any other video, crafting video on the YouTubes, then you would know how bricks are made with XPS foam. But if you don't, here we go. We're going to chop them up into tiny little pieces. Keep chopping till you got a nice little heap here. Lovely little heap of bricks there. And then I'm going to take out this funny shaped millions jar from my sweet shop. That is my day job. Chuck in a few stones. Goddamn phone vibrating every 2 seconds. Sorry, this is what I like to call fly on the wall narration. We don't cut anything out. And we should end up with some lovely roughed up bricks by the end. With these tiny bricks I'm going to build a circular well. Now I've had plenty of well puns on the Patreon already, so please, if you could resist any kind of well puns in the comments, I'd be grateful. I'm not a fan of puns, me. I'm not a big pun man. Anyway, I'm doing a very rubbish montage. I start and then give up. So we're just going to do a couple of whooshes, whoosh swipes, and the thing will be magically done. For the record, I used wood glue to stick these bricks. Takes a while to dry, but much like the unattractive partner, they will stick around. Now I've got some gravel and sand here, and I'm going to just fill in some gaps and add a few sort of rocks, which I suppose would be broken bricks. I'm not sure. This well is looking a right mess. The upkeep on this is abhorrent.
You there, boy! What's the plan with complex flowers that are often showy or bizarrely shaped, having large specialized lips or labellums, and frequently a spur? Why, that's an orchid, mister! Thanks, kid.
I purchased this very fancy orchid mister from Poundland. I have filled it with isopropyl alcohol, ready to spray atop this model. So when I add the watered down glue, it will seep into all the cracks and crevices and hold everything extremely firmly. Well, I say extremely, relatively. Now, to make sure that the XPS foam doesn't get dented too much or broken, I'm going to cover it in the black paint and Mod Podge mixture. And now it's time for the scratch building element of the build. These are some ice cream spoons. I bought a pack of like 100 of them and have never used any until now. And I'm going to use these as the poles either side of the well. I've drilled holes in the sides there so I can attach them using tiny little kaplunk sticks. I want to decorate this thing. It's going to look a little steampunk, although I'm not a big steampunk kind of guy. It's just what the future looks like. We're going to have to accept it. Save up your top hats, everybody. Here I'm getting out my special case of bits and bobs here. Slowly unlock it as if it's somehow suspenseful. And I'm going to take this little tub out that has wheels and cogs and gather up some fancy looking cogs. Now get ready for the first piece of shoddy stop animation. There will be more. I'm going to be quiet now so you can just enjoy. That took 17 hours to do. I hope you appreciate it. That's why these videos take so long to come out. Now I'm attaching all these cogs as though they could be functional, when in fact they would not be functional, and it's totally impractical. But hey, that's steampunk for you. Cogs everywhere. Cogs on your face, cog nipples, everywhere. What an overcomplicated well. It gets worse. Now this is an adorable little plastic bottle that I think my daughter gave to me when she was 2. But do 2-year-olds really give you anything? Or are you stealing their toys at that point, or manipulating them at some level to get the things you want from them? 2-year-olds are so easily manipulated. She's 5, nearly 6 now, and she's manipulating the shit out of me. Swings and roundabouts. Now I grew extra hands there to point out all the things to do with the bottle there. It's some kind of power source thing with buttons to operate the well. I told you it would get complicated. Overly complicated. It's ridiculous. Now I could have played a slightly racist pungi there, which is the instrument used to charm snakes. But I chose not to, and just let it happen. Let you enjoy the animation. I'm doing air quotes as I say that. Time for some more movie magic. I'm going to attempt to segment this rod like I did with the bottle, but hopefully it will go to plan this time. Oh, thank God. Jeez. What? How did that happen? Never again! I used the bits of wood to make this frame for the roof for the well. and once I put it on there, and after that fancy bit of animation, decided I don't like it. So I decided I'm just going to use one stick. These sticks are cotton candy sticks, by the way, from the Amazon. But the thing is, this stick looks far too new. Now I'm gonna Google some videos now to find out how to age wood on a small scale. Bear with me.
Oh, hello. Welcome. My name is Rod Fruit, and you're watching Timber. I was just in the process of making an ark for a friend of mine. He also asked me if I could get a mating pair of pangolins, and I told him, can you give me till Wednesday? You're here to learn how to make wood look old. For this, you will need three, maybe four tools, can't remember. Cheers, love. Right, let's get to it. For this, you will need a raspberry, otherwise known as a hope grater, knife, otherwise known as handyman's murder weapon. Believe me, I know. And this here, wire brush, but in the trade we call it Hitler's moustache.
Are you doing the Hitler thing again?
No, I'm not. Take your piece of wood and cut it to size. Waste not, want not. Do not chuck it away. There are people starving out there. Take sedwood and rasp. Next, take brush and brush. Then take sword and slice. Old wood. See you next time on Timber.
Thanks for that, Rod. What a good looking guy. I'm pretty sure I remember Rod as one of the finalists on Man Oh Man, the Chris Tarrant game show back in the 90s. Here's some coffee stirrers! I'm going to use these coffee stirrers to make a roof. Now, I love using wood in videos. I haven't really done it thus far, because in my last build I didn't think there was any wood in Bill Making Stuff's made up world, but apparently he's been using wood this whole time and I didn't notice. So I'm going to get my wood on. It's not the first time I've said that. Here we have a row of tiny planks, all weathered and aged, thanks to Rod Fruit's video there, the advice he gave. I'm going to use a couple of longer planks to glue on top, and I need two of these. So I'm going to throw it at the table, and via the magic of editing, it will become two. Now look at that, that looks lovely. But it does look flimsy. So I've had a little rummage around in my bits box and found these 4 little rod things. I think they were the legs to the Thunderbird 2 toy that I found once upon a time. I'm not 100% sure. But these things have little hooks. I'm going to hook them to the edge of the wood roof and attach them to the poles. That's much better. I do feel like a bit of an a-hole saying that it looks good, because it's not very humble, is it? It's only really chefs that say how brilliant their work is, or how brilliant the food is that they've made. Artists should be more humble, you know. They shouldn't be saying, look at my painting, it's fucking great. I've never understood why chefs can say, this is delicious. It's a matter of taste, mate. Now, I've covered most of that wood up with EVA foam and corrugated card, and that's it, it's ready to prime. Now, before I prime it, here's a quick thank you to the patrons. You know, I've been trying to think of a way to show my appreciation for the patrons, and I think I've finally figured it out. Hey, so I got it done. Here it is. Cleaned it up a little bit. It wasn't the neatest. So anyway, just like to say a big thanks. We've got Gemma Ingram, Benedict Miller, Country Fried Minis, Dave Bird. I'm sorry if the handwriting's terrible. I mean, he's gone for like a sort of goth emo look here. It's not what I asked for. I asked for Comic Sans. Demon Mitten Hands, that's a long name. That was painful. Ed Trotz, Isabel, Julian Soto, Miranda Stone, Shitehawk, Smokey, and Zoltan. That's the inside of my elbow there. I've run out of room. That's the top tier. The do-gooders tier. I got you tattooed somewhere else. Well, I got you tattooed on the small of my back for when I decide to become a prostitute. And the doers tier. Got you tattooed on the back of my calf, like a skater ball. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for supporting me. It's here forever now. Does it look cool? Does it look cool? If you would like to support this channel, then the link to the Patreon is in the info. And there's all kinds of things on the Patreon. There's vlogs and little comedy video bits. On with the video. And this is it, that moment when it's primed and everything comes together. The only issue is I only had a black satin spray paint left. So it has a bit of a shine to it. But I get rid of that with the paints that will come next. This is the painting stage, you lucky people. I may meander a bit, so the paints I'm using will appear on the screen, but our conversations will probably be unrelated. I will just say that there is a base coat of burnt sienna for rust, and then a light dry brushing of gunmetal over the top to make the metal rust effect. And then going to paint the wood with 3 different shades of brown, browny green. Do each plank a different colour, because it will all be married in the end. Look, I'm talking about the painting quite a lot. I didn't want to. I find the painting sections pretty boring, so I wanted to make this entertaining for you, but all I'm doing is talking about the paint. I'll take this opportunity to say thank you for watching. There's more to come. If you're enjoying the video, do leave a comment if you want. I'm not saying do it. and if you like helps. That little bell thing does something apparently. And other than that, how are you? You alright? How is everything? I did say I wasn't going to talk about the painting, but this next step I'm passionate about, and it's bricks. I love walls and bricks, me. You might have noticed from my last video. So I'm going to paint these bricks in like a sandy colour to start with, a base coat. But then I want to add several different colours for the bricks, much like the wood. But a lot of people don't do this. Now I'd say keep all the colours quite natural, but you can have the odd wild colour in there and it will work out fine.
I'm here to talk to you about bricks. Now I've seen videos, people painting bricks all the same colour and then just doing a bit of dry brush and a wash. That's not the case. Look at these bricks. They're all different colours, and I would have assumed, because it was the olden days, that they would have all come from the same sort of place. Let's have a little look, shall we? It's black. It's a black brick there. That one's yellow. This one's like a light grey. But when we zoom out, there, it all comes together. I don't really know what the point was. I was just near an old wall and thought I'd film it. Enjoy the rest of the video.
Now I don't say this about bricks to moan, I'm just saying it's fun. It's a lot of fun adding all these different colours, like I'm doing now. It can be a little bit time consuming, but once you've done them all, take something like a beige or a deck tan in my case, give it a dry brush, then we're going to add some washes. And these washes will marry everything together. Everything has a slight similar hue, which makes it individually look different, but together becomes as one. These are the washes I'm using for now, using a sepia shade, a rust colour for the metal and some of the rocks and bricks, and a bit of green just to add a little bit of green. By the way, nobody has ever really mentioned this. Some people say, God, that video is crazy, the narration's all over the place. Yeah, it is. And I don't ever retake anything, not really. I don't plan any of this. I'm just speaking into a mic. And to be honest, today, I'm up against the wall. I'm in a rush. I've got to get this video done today. It is Friday morning. The video should be out Friday evening. So I'm hoping it gets done in time. I think it will. I've timed it well. I've got microwave pizzas in 15 minutes because I'm a slob. And well, I just want to let you all in on, like, some people must script their things. I don't script them. So if this is all strange and a little bit personal, that's just the way the cookie crumbles, friends. What the fuck am I talking about? While rambling, I made a black oil wash. You've seen this a million times. I'm covering the whole thing. It looks like it's ruined, but I am from the future and it turns out fine. Now the next stage is what separates this from a standard well and makes it a horror well. I'm going to make red tentacle things to come out of this well so it can go on the same farm as the barn from my last video. If I remember, I'll put a little linky thing up in the corner there. But to do this I need twine, red ink, scissors, everybody should have scissors, and some wood glue. Also for this we'll need the hot glue gun. Now I've dyed all of the twine in the red ink. Let that dry on some kitchen roll, and I'm going to use some wood glue and twist the strands in my fingers, between my fingers, to make them tight, and then glue them inside the well first with a hot glue, and then manipulate them around the bricks using more hot glue well, not more, less. Tiny bits of hot glue. No other glue seemed to work. So I had to use hot glue, which is fine because any trace of hot glue that is on the well I stain with the red ink to add to the gore effects. The process is a mess. Look at this stuff everywhere. Don't like mess, me. Not a fan of mess. I like to be nice and tidy, almost like a psychopath. I got the tendrils done. It took well over a day to get all this done, but I'll spare you that pain. Unlike a psychopath, I'm adding an MDF base. This is the backing to a drawer or a cupboard or something. You can get this stuff free at IKEA. They normally have like a bin shed thing, and they say help yourself to bits of wood, or you can just get it out of the back of a picture frame. That wholly pointless stop frame animation was to show the basing materials, sand, cork rocks and little dead grass tufts. Now I hate basing. Basing is my least favourite thing, but you gotta do it. You don't have to show it. You're welcome. Now remember I started this project with the bottom of a bottle. Well, there was a reason for that. It's because I want to pot some liquid in the bottom of this well. Now, I know liquid would be much lower in a well, but I wanted to use some UV resin. And I need it for the step that comes afterwards. So I'm mixing some colours here, trying to get a nice sort of pink. People said the barn I made was a little like the barn from the movie The Colour Out of Space. And so I thought, well, I'll make the well from The Colour Out of Space. And the well from The Colour Out of Space is pink. Not poo coloured like this thing turned out. I don't know how this happened. Ended up being brown. Who knew that adding all the colours in the known universe would end up with the colour brown? So I got rid of this and I started again in a much quicker edit. This time I just used a fuchsia ink and ended up with the ooze from Ghostbusters 2. Now a lot of people didn't like Ghostbusters 2. I did. That's my 2 cents. I'm using a pipette to siphon the UV resin out and squirt it into the well because it's quite an awkward thing to get the liquid into. And then I left it on the windowsill to cure in the 1 day of sunshine the UK is expecting this year. I'm a lucky boy. Remember that ominous square-shaped hole at the bottom of the base? Well, I cut that out, ready for this little thing. This is a LED, I think it's a headlamp for sprinters. I had no business buying this. It has a couple of functions there. Very bright. It also... Now, for one final touch, going to add a little sign here at the front. I have placed the light underneath the model, and if you'd like to see it, then please stick around for the showcase that's coming up in a couple of seconds. I'm going to go eat my microwave pizzas. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, then subscribe, like and subscribe, that's like, comment, subscribe. Or you could help out on Patreon. I'm very appreciative of all of my patrons. I love you all. And potentially, I could love you too. Is that weird? Anyway, here's the showcase. Thank you very much for watching.